Okay, good morning, everyone. If you are joining, watch the streaming on YouTube, can you let me know if you can hear me? Okay. If you can just type something in the chat, let me know if you can hear me. So they're gonna make sure all the audio, everything is okay. Or just give me a thumbs up or something. So for those of you who are joining on Zoom, you can hear me, right?
Yep, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you. Oh, good. Okay. All right, so let's get started. And sorry about the confusion. Yesterday, I supposed to be yesterday, but something urgent came up, so I could not make it yesterday. But we're gonna try again today. And the section is being recorded, so you can also watch it later or share with other people. If you can just drop in the chat, let me know where are you joining. That'd be great. I would like to know where are you all joining from. And so for today, we're gonna go through the open publishing. I'm gonna show you step by step how can you publish either articles or books or tutorial, anything you want. Mostly technical content, computational content on the internet, so that other people can have access to your stuff. First, I already sent you the link, so let me send the link to the workshop URL. And so what we're going to go over today is actually to show you how to build a website like this. So the link to the workshop website that I'm showing you here right now, you see on my screen. This one is actually built using MyST Markdown that we're going to cover today. So it's open source software that allows you to write content using Markdown and also Jupyter Notebook, and then you can deploy on GitHub for free. You don't have to pay anything, and the website looks pretty nice. On the left side here, if you see, I can zoom in here, show you the table content on the left side. And so this is basically something we're going to create today. It can be very basic, or it can be a bit more fancy, but we're going to show you some of the template that you can use easily. If you scroll down, maybe click the open publishing, and then scroll down to find to the bottom here, I have some demos. So for example, we're going to go utilize the MyST demo to create a website using Markdown in Jupyter Notebook. And so if you click the link, it will take you to my GitHub webpage. And so let me send the link here. So this is the one, the template we're going to use. I'm going to show you later, but let's just open the link and take a look at this website. You can turn the dark mode, switch between the dark mode and also the light mode here in the button in the upper right corner. And at the bottom here, on the left side here, you can have different menus. You can have Markdown, you can have Jupyter Notebook, you can have interactive content. So for example, you can zoom in, you can see some of the output from the source code. You can also have some interactive maps. So I'm going to show you how to do that later. We actually covered this in the previous workshop, how to do, for example, open result, how do you actually create something like this. But you can also make available through this kind of MyST Markdown notebooks, and you can zoom in, you can zoom out. You can also search, for example, a particular location if you want to. Also, you can have different chapters, so it depends on what you want to do. I can have different, basically notebooks examples embedded inside the Markdown, and I can, for example, go through some of these. Of course, these are all very simple, basic one, and you can also search the results. So you also have the basic search functionality within the notebook, so allows you to quickly search content within your website. So to create something like this, it takes you less than 5 minutes. So basically, I have already have the template. All you need to just to clone the template and then just deploy to your GitHub account, and then it should be up and running just within a couple of minutes. Then I'm going to go through like how do you actually write a book, for example. How do you cite papers. How do you insert a figure or something into the notebook or the Markdown, and it's all very streamlined. So this is just one example. Next one I'm going to show you here is the Gmat book. So this actually was published in 2023, summer 2023, almost 2 years ago. You can see the interface looks a little bit different. So previously I used Jupyter Book to write the book, and you can, for example, click. You can take a look at the content. So on the left side, you have the table content. On the right, you also have the table content for that particular chapter. And you can integrate, for example, figures, images, tables, all kinds of things. And you can actually write a book using just Markdown. So you don't need complicated layout using LaTeX or use some other publishing software. We can just write everything using Markdown, and we can just build a book. Eventually, you just compile them as a PDF. Okay, so and you can try the example. So this is some of those examples, and the other one I'm going to show you here are the two courses that I have been teaching. For example, the Intro to GS Programming. On the left side here, you can see you can have content, you can books. So everything is published using Markdown and also Jupyter Notebook, and then deployed to GitHub. So you can use this for teaching. You can use to write a whole book using this. You can also use it to write a tutorial, or you can just to put something together what you want to share with other people, but as a website rather than just as a simple GitHub repository. You can set it to that, but people need to actually go through, and it doesn't have a lot of like search functionality. So if you turn that into the website and then publish that as a website, or you can also compile as a PDF, it's going to make it so much easier for readers, so they can navigate the content much easier. And similarly, this is another course that I'm teaching right now, and you can see all the contents, even the video. Everything is free and open access. So welcome to check out the video if you want to learn more about that. And okay, so that's it. And those are some of the demos. Next, let's just get started. How do we actually build things from scratch, and how to deploy to GitHub. And let me get started. 1 second, my light is off. Okay, so in order to do that, we need to install some packages on our computer. So you also need to have a GitHub account. I assume you already have a GitHub account. If you don't, you can right now quickly sign up for a GitHub account, and then I'm going to show you how to do that. If you want to, take a shortcut, this is what you would do. You just go to the demos here and then click this MyST demo. If you want to learn more about the MyST Markdown, there's also a link here, MyST Markdown guide. If you open the link, this will take you to the website here. And this one was built using, for example, let me try the other one, MyST Markdown. I think the link is outdated, so maybe mystmd.org. This is actually right down the new one. And what we're going to use is to go through some of the documentation. I'm going to show you how to actually build a website. So you can certainly see here, it looks pretty nice. It also allows you, for example, to hover your mouse, you'll be able to actually see some of the content, basically the pop-up. There are a lot of like nice features that you can incorporate into the website. I will show you some of the key features, how to use this. And so first, let's click this one, MyST demo. And so let me send the link in the chat here. You can just follow through. And as I showed you earlier, once this one is like deployed, it's going to use GitHub Actions to automatically deploy the website. So the easiest way to get started is to use this template. So I already have the template. I already have the GitHub Actions already set up. And inside there, I also have some like simple examples. So you can just clone this one. Also, if you use any notebook that use any particular libraries, you can also add the libraries directly within here. Let me zoom in a little bit so you can see it better. And so what you need to do is to click here, upper right corner, use this template, and then create a new repository. Okay, so if you click this one, and from here, you need to basically give a repository name. So I'm going to basically maybe just say open publishing. You can use whatever name you like. It doesn't really matter. So I'm just going to use open publishing as the example, and then just click create a repository. It might take a minute or two to clone the repository to your account. Okay, so now it's done. And here you should be able to see, for me, I have the pre-commit. If you don't have this one, you probably need to enable that. But if you see the red cross, it doesn't really matter. It's okay. You can just ignore that. The most important thing you need to pay attention is this one. So make sure that this one is going to be, you're going to see the green check mark. If it's a red cross, then we need to fix the issue. So what you need to do is to go to the settings here and go to the, on the left side here, go to pages. If you click pages, from here, build and deployment. So select this GitHub actions, okay? And just wait. If you go to the actions tab here, right now it just says not deploy. So you need to basically rerun the failed job. Let me see here. Yeah, so it has not enabled GitHub actions right now. We just need to rerun it again. So hopefully it will work now. So what it's doing is like we have enabled to basically build the website based on GitHub actions, and it's going to basically create a GitHub pages branch, and then all the content will be basically deployed to GitHub. So let's just wait for this one to finish, and then we can show you some of the demos. You can see it has passed the second step. So now it looks okay. So under the hood, it's going to install all the dependencies. If you want to learn more about like what is it doing, you can click the GitHub workflows, and then click the deploys YML. So the YAML file inside here is actually showing you all the steps. So basically, we're using GitHub actions to build the virtual computer, and then to build the website, and then deploy it. So the most important thing here is to look at this portion. So I already installed the MyST Markdown, and also install all the requirements of the TXT, and also the Python IPy kernel, because we're going to execute some notebooks. And so let's try again here. It's still building. Yeah, you're right. You need to have the repo have pages activated. So if you go to the settings again, go to pages, and from here, GitHub pages, and then GitHub actions. So it's actually here. So make sure that you select this one, then you should be good to go. After a minute or two, you should be able to see this one. Your site is live at blah blah. Then if you click your link and take a look, so now I have the website up and running under my account with a new URL that I just show you. I can send you the link. You can test it. If you follow the step that I just show you, you should be able to see your website up and running. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask. If you run into any issues, let me know. But let me show you just one more time, like how to do that very quick. So if you go to the open publishing page, and then click this MyST demo. Okay, so this is the demo that I created. Makes it easy. Basically, it's a template. What you need to do is just to use this template, and then create a new repository. All right, and then from here, just give a name to your repository, whatever name that you like. So I just chose one, open publishing, and once I have that, let me go to my repository so I can show you. So once you use the template, then under these settings here, go to pages, and then from this, select the drop-down list from the source, build and deployment, select the GitHub actions. And then if your actions fail, if you see something here, if it fail, then you click inside, upper right corner here, just click rerun all jobs, and just wait. After that, in a minute or two, you should have the website up and running. If you have questions, feel free to drop in the chat, or you can unmute yourself if you run into issues. But hopefully this is very simple and straightforward. You don't really need to spend too much time to set up a template by yourself. You can just use my template, and then if you want, you can go to the upper right corner here, click this settings button, and then check this box. Use your GitHub Pages website, and then click Save Changes. After that, the URL to your website should be showing up here in the upper right corner, so allow users to basically go and publishing. If you have your website up and running, feel free to drop in the chat. I can click and then take a look, see if it is really working. And so this is the simplest way of like deploying the website using MyST Markdown. Although right now you're just using a template, you don't really have any real content yet. But if you click, you should be able to see the same thing, just like what I'm showing you here. And these are all executed when the website is being built. So this is not like just uploading the notebook. The notebook doesn't contain the execution output. It's just the pure notebook, just the source code. But when the website is being deployed, it actually executes the notebooks to show you the content. So if you go to here, for example, notebooks 02 IPy MB, and if you go through the notebook, see here, there's nothing showing up. So the notebook is not being executed when you upload to GitHub, but it's only executed when it's being deployed. So this is really nice because it saves a lot of storage. Otherwise, your GitHub repository will become very big when you have a lot of output in your notebook, because if you're writing the book, you might have a lot of figures, you might have a lot of images, maps, and it's going to take a lot of space. So in general, you can just write the code using Markdown and Jupyter Notebook, and then just let GitHub Actions take care of the deployment. It doesn't matter, the website, the file can be pretty big, but it doesn't affect your master branch or the main branch. Okay, so this is how you can basically use MyST Markdown to create a simple website, and you can customize it. Right now, it just looks very basic. We have an icon for basically the logo for the website. You have the website title, and then you have some of the table contents. At the top here, you can also have some URL. So everything can be customized. And so right now, we have two examples here. The first one, this one is using Markdown. So if you scroll down, up and down, this one is just a MyST Markdown content. And we also have the notebook. So if you click the linking interactive notebooks, this one shows you the source code and also the notebook outcome. So now let me show you how to make some changes so that you can basically use that to write more comprehensive content on notebook. So what you need to do is to go to your GitHub repository. So assume this is the one that I created using the template. So now I want to make some changes. What you can do here is to click this code button and then copy this one. Then you can clone this one to your local computer. So I'm going to just go to my downloads directory here and then open my terminal. You can do the same thing using Mac or Windows. Just open the terminal and then make sure you have Git install on computer. And then I'm going to clone this one to my computer. Git clone and then the URL. Okay, so we have this one on our computer, and then just open this one using VS Code. So right click, open in VS Code. You can also open VS Code and then just open the directory. It's the same. Okay, and let me zoom in a little bit so we can see a little bit better. And these are all the files that for the website. So there are a couple important files that you need to pay attention. The first one is the MyST.yml. So this one controls the basically the table contents and for the website and also for the project. If you pay attention to these two here, TOC, file, title, and then chosen and also the file. So this is exactly the same what you are seeing from the website when it's being built somewhere here. So if you look at the content, so this is basically the one-to-one relationship. So all the things you want to show here on the left side, you'll be having this, okay? And this is for the table content. Also, you can have some URL at the top of the menu here. For example, I have the Open Science and also the MyST URL. So this one is being controlled by the navigation for the site. If you look at this one here, so these also can be customized. You can add anything that you like from here. I will show you later how to make changes, but for now, let's see how can we actually build the website locally, because you can just make changes, you can push to GitHub, but sometimes you want to preview the content of the website before you push to GitHub. So what you need to do is to go to my the open publishing page here, and this is a pretty long document, but I show you some of the extension commands you need to use. In order to build the website locally, you will need to install the package. So you can either use Conda or you can use Mamba. It's up to you. And if you want to build that, convert that one to a PDF, then you also need to install some of this text live stuff. And so from here, you can actually install it using Conda. I'm not going to show you all the steps. I have already installed it, but if you're new to this, you can follow the videos later. It might take a couple minutes for you to set all that up, but it's actually pretty simple. You can also use UV. So if you want to use UV, you can also use UV. One thing I would recommend is to install this one, MyST Markdown extension for VS Code, so that it can recognize the MyST Markdown. MyST Markdown is basically just a markdown with some additional flavors that allows you to, for example, do cross-referencing, insert figures, tables, or something like that. But a lot of markdown that you have already know, it's actually the same. You can also still use it in the MyST Markdown. So here, if you click the link, it will take you to this one. But what I recommend here, just follow me, go to the extension in VS Code, and then just type MyST. Okay, the first one, MyST Markdown. So if you click this one, on the right here, just click install, then you should be able to install this MyST Markdown extension to your project. So I highly recommend that you install this one, because you're going to have a lot of syntax, and you can allow you to, for example, to write code blocks and then insert figures, all kind of stuff. So it's going to make your life so much easier if you want to utilize MyST Markdown to write content. Okay, so once you have installed it, then you can make sure that you have the environment created. So for me, I have the env list. Okay, so I already have this created. So my environment called geo environment, and what you need to do is to open in VS Code, and then lower left corner here, click this one to open the terminal. Okay. And so the first step is to activate the Conda environment. Assume that you have already followed the steps to install all of this. Or you can just use UV as well. It's up to you. UV is much faster, but if you want to convert your document into PDF later, you need to probably use Conda first, because some of those packages are not available on PyPI. So it's better to use Conda first to install everything. So once it's done, now I can come back to my VS Code. So I'm going to Conda activate geo. Okay. And inside, to make sure that you have the MyST Markdown already installed. So you can just maybe Conda list, just to make sure that you have all the packages. And so this is the Conda environment that I created. It already has a lot of packages in there. So it might take a couple seconds to show you all the dependencies. So what you need to do is just scroll up and then just find MyST Markdown. So mine is over here, MyST MD. And I already have this one installed previously. So once you have this, and it's pretty simple. So all you need to just start. Okay, so this is the command line you need to use. Start, basically you want to start building the website, and then this give you the URL so they can visualize locally. So just hit enter. And it's going to fetch the template. So by default, it's using the book theme. And then it's going to build the website. You should notice upper left corner here, there's an underscore build. So that means right now it has built the website. And at the bottom here, it will show you the URL running locally. So it's localhost 3000. And if I press Control and then click, all right, it should take you to the website. So take a look. So right now we have this one running on our local computer. So it's the same one that running on GitHub Actions. Okay, so I have the icon here, I have the content on left side, and then you can have the URL. Everything should be working just as expected from here. If you click this, right now the difference is between the local computer and the GitHub Actions is that right now for this one we don't have any executable outputs from the notebook. It's just showing the notebooks. If you go to the GitHub Actions, this one, I have all the source code, all the output actually executed. So when you run this locally, if you just want to look at the website, you don't want to see the content output from the source code, then you just miss start. I believe I have all the source code here, showing you some of this. So if you see, by default, you can use just the miss start, and you can also initialize if you want. If you want to start a Jupyter server, you want to preview the result, then you need to also add this one, -- execute. Earlier, we only used the miss start, so we don't execute the notebook. So if you want to execute it, let me go back to here. Under my VS Code, you can just press Control C to stop it. So Control C, that means we're gonna stop the server. And after that, you can just miss start again, -- execute. For the right now, after you execute it, it's going to basically start a Jupyter server. Oops. And so for this one, because there are some dependencies that has not been installed, so it kind of fail. And the reason there's some like alt error, for example, this package it's not installed. So if you want to fix the error, I can maybe just pip install, and then this requirements.txt, because if your notebook use any dependencies, you might want to install those dependencies in here. So you can just list all the whatever dependency you want to use for your notebooks. You just list them here, and then just pip install requirements.txt. This should be able to install all the dependencies for your repository. And the reason that GitHub Actions we don't need it, because the GitHub Actions also automatically install all of those. If you open deploy the YML and you see this command, this one basically install all the stuff. All right. So once all the dependencies have been installed, now we can just miss start -- execute, and let's try again. So hopefully this time everything just works fine. At the bottom here, if you see the log, it shows Jupyter server started and then starting WebSocket. So what it's doing is basically open all the notebook and it's executing all the notebook and generating the outputs. And after that, you should see this localhost 3000. So again, click the link, open the website. Now, if you go to the notebooks, take a look. So now we have all the contents have been executed, and you should be able to see everything is interactive. You can take a look at notebooks. So this is how, depends on what you want. If you just want some text, if you already have some static images, then you don't really need to execute it. But if you have some content that you want to build the website and then automatically and generate the output based on the source code, then you might want to use the miss execute it. And nice thing about this is whatever thing that you are changing is going to actually refresh the website automatically. So now let's actually make some changes. So I'm going to go to the maybe 01 paper markdown. So this is the first page. If we go to this how to MyST here, and this one shows you all of this. If you want to make some changes, you can make some changes. For example, you can just update your name, you can update the content, your affiliation, and also update the abstract. So let me quickly just make some simple changes. So the changes you're going to make at the bottom here, at the top here, you see this 3 hyphen. So this one basically is called the front meta. So basically kind of like a metadata for your documents. So when the website is being built, it will use some of the content from here. And for now, for example, I can change it to my name here, and I can change my OK ID if you want to. Your affiliation, I can, for example, update my affiliation if you want to. So University of Tennessee, Knoxville. So after you finish the changes, just Control Save. Okay. So at the bottom here, you should see this website is being rebuilt. And so now if I go to my website, you take a look, it's actually refreshed automatically, so it's super nice. So basically, you can keep making changes. You don't need to keep refreshing the website. Everything will be taken care of. And for the title, you can have emojis, you can have like subtitle, you can have text. So these are all pretty standard one that you can utilize. One nice thing about this is you can add code blocks into the Markdown, so you don't actually need a Jupyter notebook. So this is better for GitHub because you can do version control. So let me show you here. If I go back to this one and then scroll down to the bottom here, this one has some code blocks here. So you will see here, this is code cell and then like Python or something. I can add another one. So I can, for example, create another one, this, and then code cell. Okay. You can also specify like the language. So for example, Python and then blah blah, something like that. So for here, I can create a new map. For example, map equal to leaf map.map and then m.add base map. Okay, hybrid. So I can create a new map and let's see what happens. So Control S. All right, and then it's right now executing the notebook. So hopefully it's done. And if I switch back to this one, take a look. So now I have a new code block that with the map, right? So this is just the code block. You can also even highlight some of the content if you want to, but this allows you to actually write code blocks. So this is being recognized as a code blocks, allows you to actually generate examples, interactive example. It can be map, it can be figures, it can be anything. So you can use whatever you like for this, and it's going to be generating the content. Next, I'm going to show you how to actually do some citations, right? So if you're writing scientific articles, you might need to cite some papers, or how to install figures or something like that. If you go to here, let me show you. We already cover some of this. Or maybe let's start maybe adding for example, the logo or something. You can change the logo, change the figures. So what you need to do is to go to, on the left side here, MyST YML. So this one, show you the content here, the fave icon, and also the logo. And it's being saved here under my images. So you can just replace these logos to whatever your own logos. Then your website logo will be changed, right? So if you want, for example, I can change the logo to some of the logos if you want to. And there are also some of the images, GIF, animation, everything in here. You can update those if you want to. So basically just updating the URL. So in that way, you can customize it. You can change the title. You can change everything for your website. By default, right now, if you go to this one, it's called MyST Demo. And then this is the logo. So this one here, this upper left corner, this first one is basically just the website title. So if you need to update this one, then you will update in here. So I'm going to go back to this MyST YML, and if you need to change it, it's basically the one here in the upper left corner. So MyST Markdown, for example, I can say open publishing. Okay, and then I think create interactive content using MyST Markdown. Okay, Control S, and it's going to review the website. Now, if we go back to this, look at so we have updated the title. So this is basically a website title, something like this here. And after that, so by the way, so for the website title, you can also point to a file. So this one is basically just a README file. If you go back to here, the file, basically the first one, basically your website title, basically the menu, is going to point into this file, readme.md. If you need to update anything, then you update here. So this is the file, basically the home page for your website, something like in here. So if you need to update it, you update the content. Here, you can add any figures, you can add any text, whatever you like. And then we're going to have some other file, for example, Markdown, Jupyter Notebook. You can also put this within a directory. For example, I also have the folder here. I put the other two files inside here. So it's up to you how you want to organize your content. But in general, if you have like different chapters, you might want to have all the content within a directory. So let's look at the first one, the Markdown. And there's some critical component you need to have for your book, for example. You need to have figures, you need to have images, you also need to have citations. So first, let's look at the citation. How do we cite a paper? Right now, if you look at this page, if you go to the bottom, you will see it here actually automatically generate a references section. So if in your Markdown, if you cite any papers using DOI, it will automatically include something like this. So let me show you how to add a new paper. So I'm going to go back to the VS Code here, and I'm going to use this, the first Markdown they're going to use. So how to actually cite a paper? All you need is just a DOI. If you go to the examples inside here, I might already have this. Anyway, so let me start with a new one. For example, I'm going to grab the DOI from somewhere. So if I go to maybe the GMap website, you can find any examples. So I'm going to maybe use this as an example. So I'm going to click here. You're going to take it to the website. So for this paper, we have this DOI. So you can just find any DOI. I'm going to right click and copy the link address. Okay. Then I can paste into the UI, the browser. Make sure this one is correct. Okay. So you automatically redirect to the paper. That means it's working. So what we can do here is that we just come to somewhere inside the Markdown, and then so all you need to just square bracket and then just paste the URL, and then if you just press Control S, it's going to rebuild the website, and let's see if it's going to show up on the new page or not. Okay, so I'm going to go to my MyST Markdown and take a look. So if I scroll up all the way to the top here, and look at this one. So Wu 2020, right? It's automatically. So when you hover your mouse, you will see this citation is actually automatically created. And the nice thing is that it has been added automatically to the references section. Because this paper I basically mentioned at the beginning. So you're gonna have basically have the sequence wherever it was mentioned. And so I have this one citing here, and also everything being retrieved automatically. So if you want, you can continue doing like this. For example, created the GMap Python package, blah blah. Okay, Control S, and that's it. So the paper has been cited, and if you go back to the top, see here. So this is how you cite the paper. You can continue to create, maybe get other URL. For example, you can grab another one from the GMap website. Oops. Here. And I'm going to maybe click another one here, another URL. So I'm going to copy this URL. And similarly, I have another paragraph describing something. So all you need is just like you are inserting a URL into your Markdown, and did blah blah. Okay, Control S. So every time when you Control S save the document, it's going to basically run through the document and then rebuild the website. So take a look here. Now we have the other one. So it depends on the citation style, it's going to automatically create something like this. And if you scroll down, take a look. So now we have this citation added automatically to the reference. So it's mainly it's automatically very easy. So you don't have to worry about how to do that. Also, you can actually use Wikipedia or some other citations. So if you hover to the citation, it will show you the pop-up, and then you can just click the link if you want to read more information about that. So this is how you cite papers in your documents. Next one, I'm going to show you how to insert a figure. So here, let me move this one up here. Close this. So how to basically insert a figure into your paper. Okay, so the citation will cover. By the way, if you need like more customized style, you can actually use this one. We don't have time to cover all that, but I'm going to show you this one first so that you know how to insert some of the stuff into your document. So what I want to do here is to my light goes. So in order to insert some figures into your document, there are two ways. So one way is just to insert just is a regular image. They don't have a figure caption. But if you're writing papers, most likely you want to, if you have a figure, you want to have the figure caption created automatically, and then you can also recreate basically reference the figure inside your paper. So this is what I'm going to do here. I'm going to show you how to do that. So first, assume that we have maybe I have a figure. Maybe go here. Okay. How about maybe this one? Okay. So I'm going to basically save these images. Assume this is something that you created. Okay. So I'm going to save this one into my image directory. Okay. So this one will be maybe the histogram. So it can be any images. So histogram. Okay. .png. Right. So this is the histogram that you want to insert into your document. For example, I want to insert somewhere here. How are you going to do that? And very simple. You can just copy this code block here. So this one allows you, basically this is called directive in MyST Markdown. That means you're going to insert a figure. So you can either use the tilde at the backticks, or you can use 3 colons. So either 3 backticks and then 3 backticks at the beginning, or 3 backticks at the end, or you can have 3 colons. And then you have this curly brackets. That means it's going to be a figure. This is the path to the figure. So the figure can be file path to your local computer, or it can be HTTP URL, and then you're going to give a label. So this will be the label, basically the name, the unique name for your figure, and whether you want to align the center to the left, to the right, and this one will be the figure caption. So the easiest way is just to copy this template and then go to maybe whatever markdown that you want to do. So I'm going to just paste here. I'm going to show you. Okay. And then next you need to update the content. So what you need to do is to update whatever the name. For example, I created this histogram earlier, right? Histogram.png. So I'm going to say histogram. T-O-G-R-A-M. Okay. Also, you need to give a label. So for me, I just usually the name is the label is the same as basically the file name. So you need to be unique. Otherwise, you're going to basically the program is going to get confused. So you only have one label. It needs to be unique. The alt, you can have that if you want to. So for me, I don't need that. And the alignment, I'm going to use the center. So for example, the map showing the histogram of whatever. It doesn't matter. Okay, Control S. All right, so it's done. Now I can go back to the page. So hopefully it shows up. Hey, is there a typo or something? Hit the histogram.
Yeah, you added an R before the G.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
Histogram. There you go.
Histo.
Is there going to be an R, additional R?
Oh, there's a typo here. Okay, good
Yeah,
point. Okay, so I need to fix it. Images. Okay, histogram. And TOGRM histogram. Okay, hopefully it's fixed now. All right, take a look. So now we have these figures. Thank you for the correction. So we have these figures coming up. And the nice thing about this is that whenever in your text, if you need to reference this figure, you can just use the label. So they will show you how to do that. For example, let me somewhere. Maybe at the beginning, okay, somewhere here. I'm gonna put it somewhere here. Okay, then you can say, okay, the histogram, blah blah, something like this. Okay, so inside here you can have a parentheses, right? So when you're writing paper, you usually see like C figure 1, blah blah. So what you need to do is just to see the hashtag and then the histogram. So basically what you're doing here is to let me one second. Is it coming up? Not this one. I forgot what I did. Oh, you need to basically use the, just like we are citing the URL. So basically the square brackets and then the parentheses inside you have the hashtag. So we need to update here. Square brackets and then parentheses and then like this. Okay, Control S. So hopefully it should work now. come back here. Take a look. So the nice thing about this is we basically use the label to reference the image. So sometimes if the figure is like somewhere very like far below, you can see basically the preview, right? So right now it's pretty close here. It's fine, but I can certainly add a bunch more text here just to make it a little bit farther away. Okay, Control S. So go back to this one right now. Right, so I reference this figure. When I hover my mouse, you will see this figure and also the figure caption. Super nice. And you can click this one, or you can click here. It will take you to the figure automatically, right? So again, this. You can continue to add more figures. It will basically just based on the order, it will create the figure numbers automatically. In that way, you don't have to manually hard code it, the figure numbers. So let me show you one more time. I'm going to add maybe another one. So how about this? I'm going to maybe generate a map somewhere, maybe this one. Okay, so I'm going to save this one as a PNG to my computer. And so I'm going to say this one is the horse power, okay, the figure. Okay, so this is the second one. I'm going to insert, and I can have it somewhere similar here. Maybe somewhere here. So again, I'm just going to copy this code block. And then, so for this one, horse power, okay, and then horsepower, something like this. So this is where if your image, your figure is like the width is very small, then this is where the alignment really matters. It can be on the left, on the right, at the center. So right now, this will be like the horse power of Jupyter ecosystem, whatever. Okay. So once I have this, now I can do something very similar. Like I can cite another figure somewhere here, and how about maybe somewhere in the middle here? I'll say the horsepower of blah blah. Okay, and then so I can give a parenthesis at the end. C horsepower. Okay, Control S. When I go back to refresh, so here. Take a look. So now I have all these figures embedded in the document, and also it automatically give you the number, figure 1, figure 2, right? And if you click on any of those figures, it will take you to the location of the figures, right? So this is where we cite this figure, automatically have the preview. I really like this one because if you're reading a paper, sometimes like a figure and then like a couple pages behind, it's difficult to basically navigate through. But what we can do here, this is like all interactive, so I can actually click, it will take you to this one, or you can, if you just want to see the preview. So this is basically how you can insert the figures. You can do the same thing for tables. Tables should be very much similar, but if you don't need like figure captions, then you just insert it as a regular image, just like square brackets and then parentheses, then it's just the URL to the image. That's fine as well. It's not going to be embedded into your document. Okay, so this is how you can insert a figure, and you can also be cross-referencing. So if you have different chapters, you can actually reference the same image. But when you have different documents, the number is going to basically restart. So you're going to have figure 1 here, figure 2 here in another chapter. But at least right now, this is the easiest way that you can basically reference images and figures. Let me see, I have a table here, table. Adding tables. Yeah, I don't have the tables in here, but it should be the same. So let me show you. I'm going to basically add. So instead of using figures, it will be just table. So table, and then if there's a table, then you need to have the table headings. You don't really have this one. I mean, the easiest way, I would just go to the MyST Markdown and then go to the guide here. And then authoring, there should be a table, or I can just do a quick source table. Okay, adding tables. Right, something like this. So you can actually add a table. So this is basically the kind of the format. Okay, table caption, and then you can have the label, alignment, blah blah, something like that. So then maybe create a nice table like this. How about this one? Oh, here you can see CSV table. How about maybe this one? So you can see you can have a list table, you can have something like this, the table caption. Maybe just use this the most basic one. All right, I'm going to just copy this one and then paste here. All right, so the table caption, blah blah, and inside here I can also reference this table. Okay, see square brackets and then parentheses. Then you can just say hashtag table. Of course, the table you need to give a label, like similar to what we did for the figures. And once you have this, now if you come back to here, look at this. See table 1, right? So the table can also be previewed when you hover your mouse. So this will be the content for your table. And if you click, it will also take you to the table. So just like what we do for if you're writing a manuscript, you can certainly do this easily. So this is how you install figure and tables into that. All right, and we only have 10 minutes. So next I'm going to show you how you actually export the content to different format. For example, a Microsoft Word document, PDF, or something like that. So assume that this is, for example, this is the chapter that I'm writing. Actually, like 2 weeks ago, I just wrote a book chapter for a book using this Markdown that I'm actually showing here. So let me show you this one. I can send the link to the chat here so you can see what I did. And inside in the notebook here, I actually have a PDF. So this PDF is actually a document that I created using Markdown. And you can see all the citations automatically generated into a PDF. You have the source code, you have images, you have figures, you get all kind of stuff. So this is exactly that you can do using the MyST Markdown to create book chapters. It can be an entire book. Right now, it's just a simple book chapter. And if you look at the Markdown, the data visualization Markdown, so inside here, you can see all the content. It's just a Markdown, a MyST Markdown with citations, figures, images, or something like that. And then you can compile into a PDF. So now let's see how do we actually convert this one to a PDF. What you need to do here is to, in the Markdown, at the top here, if you clone my repo, you should have this one already set up automatically. Format DOCS, basically Microsoft Word document, and also format PDF. So it's up to you. You can also have template, so you can actually use different template. But for now, I can just remove this one. The easiest way would be just add this one to the Markdown front matter. So that means what kind of format you want to export. So right now, we have this one. Basically, the Markdown has been created. And once you do the preview, if everything looks good to you, now we can start creating the PDF. Basically, you want to export this one into a different format. And so what you need to do here, let me Control-C to stop the preview. If you open this one on your computer, you should see this one, _build, and then site. Oh, okay, because earlier we used the miss start. So after you stop, it's going to basically remove automatically. So if you want to see the website, for example, the content on your computer, then you can just miss build, okay? And then just hit enter. You will build the website. And after that, if you see this build _ see the site public, where is it? Build, maybe this HTML. Sometimes you might need to be explicit. Okay, so let me try again. See here, build, HTML. So you can export this one to HTML, and then you click the directory, scroll down all the way to the bottom. You should be able to see the index HTML. So if you click this one, it will be taken to the website. The problem for this one right now is not set up properly, but if you run that on GitHub Actions, it should work. But let's try how to export this one to a Microsoft Word document. So what you need to do, MyST build, okay, and then this DOCX. Okay, so just wait for it to finish and look at the last line here. Copy to _build export paper.doc. So this come here. Oops. Exports. And if you open this one, it's basically a Microsoft Word document created using Markdown. Okay, so if you open it, looks nice. See, so the Markdown has been converted to a Microsoft Word document, and you can see all the figures. Like these things are all generated automatically. Earlier, we insert the figures, right, just using Markdown, and we're able to actually render the Markdown, also the tables. Of course, the table, this one doesn't look very good. But you can also see the citations. For example, look at this, see the figures and the citations. If you scroll down to the bottom, oh, this one is missing. Interesting. Probably need the PDF. Right now, this one doesn't show up in the Word document. I might need to find a bug in there. But this is one way you can export the data, the paper. The other one is using the PDF. So you be MyST build __ PDF. In order to export as a PDF, you need to install those latex packages. Again, I don't have time to show you all of that, but you can go to the workshop page. And at the beginning here, showing you some of the command line you need to install using conduct first in order to have those latex component. All right, so it's done. So now we have this paper.pdf. Let me go here, open the PDF. So now we have this. Right now, there's about the keywords. Actually, is something is wrong. This is weird. But for other parts, if you look at here, the pages, the figures. So this one looks better than the Microsoft Word documents because I think you have all the references. So look at this. So these are all created automatically, and it's being like ordered alphabetically. I think we can customize the style for different journals if we want to, but right now this is just using a basic one. So we have the documents created and then render using Markdown. We have the figures, we have tables, we have all the stuff, and inside you can also have HTML, something like this. And so you see, it's actually not very complicated. All you need is just like clone my repository, install the packages, and then you can start building the documents, export it to different format. It can be PDF, it can be Microsoft Word document. You can also customize it. Right now, there are some of the options in here. So you how to do that. And you can also convert it into different format. For example, right now, by default, we're using just the default PDF. But if you need some other format, for example, 2 columns, I can do it here. So I can copy this one. Let me show you. I'm going to copy the format PDF. And then I'm going to come back to this one here. Oh, not just the Markdown here. Go to the beginning. And I just need to replace this one. Okay, Control S. So the PDF format, the template is being specified in the front matter of this document. So if I try to build the document again, PDF, it's changed. So allows you to customize the template to whatever template you want to use. And so this one takes a little bit longer. Hopefully no errors. And just wait for it to finish. Oops, there's some errors, some warnings. It doesn't matter. So now if I open it, so take a look. So now this one becomes 2 columns, and the format has been changed. So you can certainly see some of this here. And depending on the journal, right? Depending on the journal you are submitting to. So you can use Markdown to write the paper, and then you can just generate the PDF, then you can submit to the journal. You can also export as LaTeX. So if you're someone that use LaTeX, you can also just, for example, something like this. I can create a report, the template, and the output. You can output as a format LaTeX, and then using the template, and then you can specify the output format. So, for example, here I'm going to copy this one and come back to here. I can add another format. Okay. And once you're done, if you want to generate all the format all at once, then you just MyST build or MyST builds maybe TX. Okay. So if you use the TX, it should generate the LaTeX file output to archive.zip, right? So this is the one contains all the LaTeX file. It also has the BIB file and also the class file. So if you click this one, it's open this. And if some journals like just accept something like this, then you can just upload this one to their publication, the journal submission system. So allow you to export in different formats. If you want to see what kind of format available, you can go to the documentation, documents, export as content, scientific PDF, for example. And this one shows you some of the template or more information about what template is available. So you can just miss template list all the PDF, but you can just copy this one. Okay, and then if you come back to here, Control L, miss template list, and it says it has over 400 templates. Right now, I'm just showing you some of the simple one. So AGU, for example, Archive, Frontiers, MDPI. So there are a lot of templates available. So only just to figure out the name that you want to use and then specify the format you want to export. After that, you should be able to basically convert the PDF into any format. Eventually, you can build a book or just a book chapter, just like what I show you in here, using Markdown and Jupyter Notebook to write the content and then just compile it as a PDF. So in that way, you don't need to use Microsoft Word document or Google Docs to write papers. You can just use Markdown to write papers and then publish as a tutorial or as a book chapter or anything. Okay, so that's all I want to show you. We already 2 minutes over time, but if you have any question, I'm happy to answer any questions. So this is just like show you the template. There are a lot more features. There are a lot more things you can do with the MyST Markdown, but you get all the essential components, writing the text, citing the paper, editing the figures, tables, and then how to compile as a PDF. And you can just use my template to create your own books and tutorial. And you can also deploy to the GitHub Actions. So in that way, you have a interactive content rather than just like Markdown that people have to look at the source code. But you can render that using a website, and you can even use this one as, for example, you can use this to build, for example, your CV, your website for your CV, because you can have website. I actually have that as an example. But I haven't finished it yet, but just showing you like certainly this is something you can do if you want to just have your personal website built using MyST Markdown. You can do that. So you can, for example, all the paper that I listing here. So these are you creating automatically using MyST Markdown, and also have all the references. For example, here you can do that as well. Just like treat it as a book chapter, and then you can compile it as a PDF. So you can actually use Markdown to write your CV and then generate a PDF automatically whenever you get some updates. And then you can push that one to GitHub Actions. So you're going to have a website with the PDF for your CV. All right, so that's all for today's workshop. I hope you learned something new. If you're new to MyST Markdown, you can try it out. It's super easy to get started. It's just Markdown with some additional flavors, allow you to insert different components, so you can just publish stuff using Markdown, and then you can have version control rather than using Microsoft Word documents. Any questions? If you're on Zoom, you feel free to unmute yourself to ask questions. If you're on YouTube, you can drop comments in the chat. I'm happy to answer your questions. There's a question about what is a scientific PDF as opposed to a non-scientific PDF. So let me go back to here. It's actually just a PDF. There's not really the scientific or not scientific. Basically means this is targeted for open publishing. And most people using this is either writing tutorial, writing a book for some with some technical content. So it's called scientific PDF. It's just term. It's basically just PDF. So there's not really differences between scientific and non-scientific. But depends on the template that you choose. Some of those might be looks more professional. Some might look less professional. So just try out some of the templates, or you can just use the default one. It looks already pretty nice. So for example, let me show you here. This is the one that I built, for example, using the template, and it certainly can be improved, but it's not bad, right? It's Markdown, and then render is this. I think I need to look into the customization to see how maybe to add background or something to the code blocks, so it's more easier to distinguish. Right now, it's not super clear, but in terms of figures, captions, they all look pretty good. And this is where you can actually customize, right? I can center the image on the page, or you can align to the left, to the right. It's up to you, depending on how you want to do it. And for tables, for example, these are all created using Markdown tables. You can insert pie chart, bar chart, whatever you like. Okay, so any other questions? If you have any questions after the workshop, you also feel free to ask on GitHub, or you can connect with me on social media. So this is the last workshop for the Open Science workshop for the spring 2025. And next semester, I probably will start a new workshop series on GeoAI, how to use open source to do deep learning and geospatial data visualization analysis. So you can follow me on social media. When we have that ready, we will start a new workshop series next year. Right now, for this semester, just like the first workshop series that we are organizing, but we cover mostly some of the very generic topic on open science. So next semester, we're going to cover something more specific to geospatial. If you have any topic that you want me to cover, or you have any ideas, you can also welcome to reach out. If something that I can teach, I'm also happy to teach whatever content that I'm able to. Okay, with no further questions, thank you very much for your attention, and thank you for attending. Look forward to seeing you in the next workshop in a couple months. Maybe this summer, or maybe in the fall semester. Okay, that's all. Thank you very much. See you in the next one.